George Russell dominated the Singapore Grand Prix as Lando Norris trimmed Oscar Piastri's championship lead after the McLaren pair made early contact. Norris had a storming start, but lightly collided with teammate Piastri on the opening lap to take third, where he would finish the race behind Max Verstappen following a hard-fought battle for second. Piastri had to settle for fourth and seize his advantage over Norris, cut to 22 points in the title race, but McLaren sealed the Constructors' Championship with 6 rounds to go, a joint record for the earliest. The Drivers' done a wonderful job, and you can't win a Constructors' Championship behind 2 awesome drivers and an awesome team here, said Zach Brown. The championship celebrations were slightly overshadowed today by the early McLaren drama, where Norris got his elbows out from 5th on the grid by overtaking Antonelli immediately, and then teammate Piastri into turn 3, brushing the back of Verstappen and crucially nudging Piastri out wide. The Aussie was furious with the move, stating it's not fair on the wheel, and hinted Norris had broken McLaren's engagement rules. The top 4 were started where they finished at the first lap, as Russell was to his second win of the year following a win at Canada, and Verstappen held off Norris to trim his deficit to Piastri to 63 points. Piastri suffered a slow stop which prevented him from joining the podium battle, which Antonelli taking 5th on his first Singapore Grand Prix outing. Leclerc was 6th, but Hamilton dropped to 8th after getting a 5-second time penalty, losing massive amount of times following a brake failure, with Alonso profiting in 7th, and then Bierman and Sainz rounded off the points. Sainz doing a great job on an alternate strategy. McLaren's 10th Constructors' Championship is a testament to the culture that's been created by Brown and Stella, after such a dominant season. Norris suffering minor front wing damage, but was able to continue following that clash with Piastri, who nearly tapped the wall, made his failings clear on the team radio, was stating it was unfair, saying that Norris did a shit job of avoiding him if he crashed into him, which is a fair point. Although McLaren never made their papyrals known publicly, it's largely thought that the contact is not allowed between the duo, which is likely to lead to what Piastri was frustrated about. The move largely dictated whether McLaren's finish, given the overtaking was so difficult around the circuit. Norris tried to put pressure on Verstappen, who started on soft compared to the other front runners on mediums during their first stint, but was unable to get close enough. A similar pattern followed as other pitted for half, but Norris couldn't make a serious attempt of overtaking Verstappen over the last 15 laps. Piastri finished lonely 4th, but didn't quite have the pace of the cars in front, and was also hurt by a slow stop. At the front, Russell controlling proceedings and never really felt flustered. It felt amazing, obviously, with what happened a couple of years ago. He's just so grateful for the team. They did an amazing job. We don't really know where the performance came from, as Friday was nearly tough, but it was a dominant race. I was a bit nervous when Verstappen was on the soft, but in the end it got through it fine. And yeah, credit for Russell, great drive. And yeah, remarkably, this Singapore Grand Prix ran safety car free with 20 drivers taking the flag, something which was a rare sight at Singapore in the early years. It's never happened before, has it? And before I go, let me run you through the classification from the Singapore Grand Prix. Russell, a dominant drive up top, great job from him. Verstappen in second, I think, he'll be relatively happy with that. He kind of needed a win, but to close in again, and hopefully on maybe a stronger circuit for Red Bull, he can close that gap. Norris in third will probably be happy to take points off Piastri. He'll be frustrated with 4th. Really would have hoped to take points off Norris this weekend, but a decent result nonetheless. Antonelli in 5th will be disappointed to lose that place to Norris, but in the end, a pretty solid drive for him to get past Leclerc. Ferrari will be super disappointing, just no pace, and for Hamilton, it looked like he'd have a P5, but in the end, it cost him. Hugely frustrated with that brake issue. Alonso did a good job, maximised his results, similar for Bierman, and Sainz, unbelievable from him to really get that position. He'll be delighted with that. Hadjar in 11th will be frustrated. I think that issue cost him. Tsunoda fall up to 12th, but disappointing really when you consider where Verstappen was. Just poor from him all weekend. Stroll in 13th, didn't quite have the pace of his teammate. Albon, kind of similar story. Lawson, similar story when you consider Hadjar had those issues. Alpine really struggling, but I think Colapinto did a good job. Balsa and Hulkenberg, not an ideal race for them, and Ocon away off his teammate as well. So pretty disappointing for those running at the back. Guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share and subscribe. Follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily F1 news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.